And we're live. Sunday Service episode number 33. We got UFC 310 going down on Saturday. I'll be there in attendance, flying out Thursday morning. Can't wait to be in the big city. Can't wait to get back to a big event. Haven't been to an event since UFC 300. That was April. 2023, I went to like 5 or 6 events. So I've only been to 2 this year. This will be my 3rd, and then I'll be at UFC Tampa the following week. So I can't wait to get back at it, boys. Boots on the ground. Boots on the ground, looking to make some coin. We'll hit the tables. I think we're going to Power Slap. Should be a great time. So we got a lot to look forward to this Saturday. A lot to look forward to. We didn't have much to look forward to this past weekend. We had the PFL Championships on Friday, which was a grind to watch. Started at like 7:30 in the morning Eastern time. It didn't get done until about 4:30 p.m. Eastern. That's a long time. That's a very long time. And if you just tuned into the main card, I guess you only watched about 3.5 hours, but still it was a long time to sit there and watch those fights. Now, they weren't bad fights, and we could talk about them on here. I'll kind of gauge the interest level with the chat. We got some people joining the chat right now. IG chat is popping off. What's going on, fellas? Oh, Dope Freestyles hit me with the NFL parlays that got busted. Oof. That's rough. Yeah, I've been trying not to bet on NFL too much lately because your hopes and dreams just get destroyed. Okay? The NFL is just very tough to bet. And UFC is tough too. But personally, I just find it very, very frustrating to bet on NFL. Because, a team looks great one week, then the next week they look terrible. And it's very tough to gauge. Usually you have to play a little bit of a devil's advocate in a lot of positions, but, some people are good at it. Personally, not my thing. Doomsday in the YouTube chat. Buddy, who cares about Dakota Ditcheva? Talk about Timur Hizraev and Davlet. Brother, probably because Dakota Ditcheva is arguably the best women's MMA fighter on the planet right now. You could maybe say Timur Hizraev is, but I don't know. The guy is undefeated. He beat the piss out of Brendan Loughnane. I kind of saw that coming. Timur is a great fighter, no doubt about it, but Dakota Ditcheva is running through everybody. Like, she's got all wins except for one by finish. It's a little bit different to talk about. Dovlet, it's like 36 years of age, won the $1 million. That's cool. Knock it out, Impa. That's cool. But Ditcheva, bro. Ditcheva is the PFL's golden child because she might be their ticket to having something that the UFC doesn't, which is the best female fighter on the planet. The way she was able to run through Taila Santos, like Taila Santos looked like she was lost in there. She was lost. And Taila Santos arguably beat Valentina Shevchenko, the current UFC champion. So when you compare those two performances, you're like, okay, this girl might be the best in the world right now. She just blew through her. Taila couldn't get her down, couldn't do anything on the feet. Dakota's like just massive for the weight class. Kneeing her in the stomach, body shots, teeing off on her. Like, it was easy work. Easy work. So that's why we're talking Dakota Ditcheva, brother. You think Van versus Durden will be a grappling game? I'm sure Cody Durden wants it to be a grappling game, but we'll see how much success he has with that. And at times, Cody Durden has elected to strike with guys he should probably grapple. So, yeah, there is always that. You never know what Cody Durden's going to do. No, sir. Shavkat, no, not overrated. He's like the Terminator. Everything they throw at him, he eats it and keeps going. Garry can only stay at range for so long until Shavkat traps him. I feel that, Colostrum. I feel that. But you got to factor in, brother. Shavkat's best win is a Wonder Boy Thompson, a 40-year-old Wonder Boy Thompson. He's ran through everybody mostly. Jeff Neal gave him a pretty tough fight. Jeff Neal landed some big shots on Shavkat. And Shavkat has a chin. There's no doubt about that. Shavkat's got a chin. Whatever Jeff Neal was throwing at him, he shrugged it off and kept coming forward and ultimately choked him out. But, the only guys that he's beaten in the rankings, Jeff Neal and Stephen Thompson, 40-year-old Stephen Thompson. So you got to look at Ian Garry. I guess the only guy he's beaten in the rankings is Michael Venom Page at the time. But still, they're both undefeated. So neither guy has tasted defeat. What are the weaknesses from both guys? Shavkat is a big favorite. So that's why I threw out there that maybe he's being overrated. Maybe he's being overrated because he's like a minus 350 favorite to another guy that's never lost. Hopefully Shamil comes to UFC soon. Brother, Shamil Musayev is just juiced to the gills. I don't know how. They must not be testing these PFL guys. Like, I don't know how this guy has gone a full season without popping for something unless they're just not testing him. The dude literally has man boobs and veins running throughout his chest. It's just so obvious that Shamil Musayev is on some sauce. But he is good. A crazy power. The dude's got crazy power. That's what I thought about Musayev's performance, brother. Crazy power, pretty solid takedown defense. I don't think he got taken down. And if he did, he got right back up. I think he would do really, really good in the UFC. But if they drug tested him, he's probably not passing. Okay, the dude is juiced to the gills. I would put some serious money on Shamil Musayev not passing a drug test. Okay. James, what's going on, brother? What's up, Randy? Parlay Princes. Am I the only one that thinks Dakota versus O'Malley is a banger? Probably, brother. Probably. O'Malley would whoop her. I think O'Malley would whoop her. No doubt about that. Ian Garry, plus 300 is generational wealth. What do you think? I don't know if it's generational wealth, but it might be the value side, man. It might be the value side. Because if Shavkat can't get takedowns on Ian, I think Ian can stand and strike with him. There's no doubt about that. And Ian usually has good game plans. Ian usually comes in and has a good game plan that he's willing to stick to, and he's okay with the fight being boring. It could turn out to be a boring fight if Shavkat isn't able to have the success that he normally does. And honestly, the Shavkat Wonderboy fight was pretty boring because it wasn't like a ton of action on the feet. It was a lot of cage control. Ultimately got him down in the second round, almost submitted him, and then submitted him with 5 seconds left, something like that. Dakota versus John Jones, who wins? John is undefeated in the UFC except for the 12-6, but he's also undefeated against women. So, I'd probably take John Jones. Ian barely beat Jeff Neal, though. I don't think it was a barely beaten. I thought he won pretty clearly, but it wasn't like a domination. He clearly outpointed him, but it wasn't like a holy shit, Ian Garry just whooped up on Jeff Neal. It's not really what he does. It's not really what Ian Garry does unless it's like a lower level guy. He doesn't really whoop up on guys, but he just finds ways to win. Shav sub against Neal was so crazy. It was nasty. I rewatched that fight 3 times, bro. They're bloodied up. Jeff Neal gave him a hell of a fight, though. Jeff Neal is historically a tough guy to finish and a tough guy to take down, and he has great boxing. And he landed some big shots on Shavkat, but like Colostrum said earlier, man, the guy just whatever you throw at him, he's just going to keep walking forward, and he got it done. Just gets to the back. That dude's squeeze. Shavkat's squeeze must be nasty. It must be just disgusting. It's the way he submitted Jeff Neal and the way he submitted Wonderboy Thompson. I don't think Wonderboy had ever been submitted. And there was 5 seconds left. That squeeze must be nasty, because if Wonderboy had never been subbed and he's tapping with 5 seconds left, it's got to be pretty nasty. You think Pantoja versus Kai can go the full 5 rounds? If not, how? I mean, it could. There's always the possibility. Pantoja's been to 3 straight decisions? You know, I do think the fight probably doesn't go to a decision just because I think Kai has the ability to land a knockout, but I think it would have to be some type of like crazy action, some type of flying knee, something where he'd have to time it very, very well. But Pantoja could also knock him out. Asakura's been knocked out a couple times, and he could submit Kai on the ground. Like Pantoja is one of the best on the ground, so Pantoja could finish it either way. Kai's probably got to find some type of flashy knockout. Prates versus JDM, who would you pick? That's a good question. He added Parlay Princess. I would maybe take Prates. I would wonder what the odds would be. I think JDM might be like a minus 130, minus 140. Very slight favorite, just considering he's beaten high-level competition. He's on a long win streak, too. And he's pretty damn tough, too. I don't know. I mean, I might go with Prates, especially if Prates was an underdog. I'd probably take Prates. Can't fade him. Yeah. Tough pick, though. What do you think Leon Edwards... Who do you think Leon Edwards should face in London main event next year since it was announced he was in it? Let's take a look at the rankings, actually. Pull these rankings up. Off the top of my head, I would maybe say maybe a JDM. I guess maybe you could do Sean Brady. Could maybe do Sean Brady. But that's a tough matchup for Leon, considering he's had to go up against wrestlers his last like 4 fights. Maybe Sean Brady or JDM. I'd probably want to see JDM before a Sean Brady, but Sean Brady's earned it. Both guys have earned it. Savage Jones coming. I'm actually shocked Ian's plus 300. I was kind of shocked too, man. In the clinch, can Ian stay safe from the knees and elbows? We haven't seen Ian on the ground against a grappler like Shavkat, but Ian has been training at Shoot the Box, so maybe he's ready. I think if the fight does hit the ground, Ian's in danger. I think if the fight does hit the ground, Ian is in danger. But Shavkat has to get it to the ground. He doesn't have the best takedowns, and he doesn't really have this mauling, grappling pace. Like, it's not really his game. Like, he's willing to strike it out with you and then look for his opportunities to mix in a takedown. He's not going to just go out there and marob you, like shooting takedown after takedown after takedown. He's a capable striker, and he's put out a lot of guys with his striking. So I think he probably tries to strike with Ian, then maybe looks for some takedowns. And Ian's probably going to have to fight very smart, not overextend himself. Because if he does get taken down and put on his back, or even if Shavkat takes the back, he's in danger. Because I think Shavkat's squeeze is pretty nasty. But we also got to think about this, man. Let's just think about this. Ian Garry's last fight with MVP. If Ian Garry finishes that rear naked choke in round 1 against MVP, he's not plus 300 here. Okay, he's not plus 300. He had a locked-in rear naked choke on MVP. And MVP managed to get out of it. I don't think MVP's ever been submitted. Probably got very solid submission defense. If he finishes that submission and he subs MVP in round 1, he's not plus 300 here. Now, obviously, he didn't do that, so that's probably why we're seeing this. But if he just ran through MVP like that, we're having different talks. So that's something you got to take into account. Shavkat versus Ian will go to decision. What are the odds on that? I don't think we have a fight to go to a decision line yet. But I know the over is set at 2.5. I do like that over as well. I do like that over. Does Dakota Ditcheva beat Valentina if they fight next year? I would say yes. I would absolutely say yes, bro. Absolutely. Valentina's good, but she's older, and she beat Alexa Grasso because Grasso has no takedown defense, no real game off her back other than throwing up submissions. She doesn't have a good get up game, but she has a decent submission game off her back. Valentina won that fight based off of having the better wrestling. And Tyler Santos was out wrestling Valentina Shevchenko for a good portion of their fight. And Tyler Santos had no grappling or wrestling success against Ditcheva. On the feet, I think Ditcheva's bigger, hits harder, better boxing. Valentina's solid at range, but she's not as deadly as she once was. I think Ditcheva probably runs through her, bro. Do you think Masaev would beat Shavkat, Bilal, etc.? I think he would, but I agree he wouldn't pass the test. Yeah, I mean, the guy is nasty, bro. I think he would be a top 5 welterweight in the UFC. I think he would. Watching those PFL championships, there's some good fighters in PFL, man. Like Shamil Musaev, top 5 welterweight. Timur Hizraev, top 10, maybe top 5 featherweight in the UFC. Ditcheva, probably the best in the world, would be champ in the UFC. Ramadanov, maybe fringe top 15. Goltsov, heavyweight, he'd be in the top 15 in the UFC heavyweight division. There's no doubt about that. Probably top 10. So I mean, they got some good fighters. Hot take: Hizraev, PFL 145 champ, gives Ilya a very tough fight and probably beats him. I don't think he beats him, but he would be top 5. Top 10 at the very least. I heard Jorge Masvidal might come back to fight him, but I think JDM for sure. Oh my God. Dude, if Jorge Masvidal comes back and fights Leon, that would be disgusting, bro. That would be disgusting. I did hear Masvidal wants to come back, though. And that is a fight that has a lot of history. So it wouldn't shock me. But that's not really a matchup I'm interested in, to be honest. Pratis would definitely keep kicking JDM in the arm that he just broke and then finished JDM. That's crazy. Crazy dissection there. I can't wait for this weekend. A week off is nasty works. Well, brother, we got 2 weeks in a row, and then we got like 3 weeks off. So 1 week off is better than 3 weeks off. Reyes plus 270 and Themba plus 470 free money. That's not the odds, brother. MMA Anomaly, if you're looking on the UFC website, never trust the UFC website odds. Never. They're always wrong. They can never get anything right. Okay, Reyes is like a minus 350 favorite. Themba is like a minus 170 favorite. Okay, it's not the real odds. Dakota does win. She's the best women's fighter right now. I agree. 100%. Dakota versus Manon, on the other hand, would be a little bit better of a fight. Because I think Manon Fiorot beats Valentina. But Manon is also older herself. And I think Ditcheva probably beats her as well. I think she probably does. And I'm a big Manon Fiorot supporter. But I think Ditcheva probably beats her. Converse Volkov rematch you got. Also, I'm thinking it goes the full distance. Well, that's not a hot take, Randy. I think the over 2.5 is pretty chalked up. So I think the betting odds are agreeing with you there. I think the fight probably does go to a decision. And I think Cyril Gane probably outpoints him. That's what he did in the first fight. Unless Volkov can land some takedowns, get some top control, he's probably going to get outpointed. It's very tough to beat Cyril Gane in a striking match unless you have knockout power and speed where you can like match his speed. And Volkov doesn't have the most knockout power, and he also doesn't have the quickest feet, the quickest hands. So I probably think Cyril Gane outpoints him to a decision. UFC website doesn't update the odds yet. It's true. Do you think Conor will ever fight again? Absolutely not. Musaev is a monster. He is a juiced monster. Juiced up. This is the third time my homie lost a 10-leg parlay because he put Dakota over on rounds. Damn. It's tough, bro. It's tough. You see those women, you see the over, and you're like, yeah, that's shit. Not with her. Not with her. Prates is like the male version of Dakota. They fight similar. They're both good at targeting the body. Yeah, I would say Dakota's body work with her hands are a little bit better. I mean, Prates loves his knees to the body. So does Dakota. But Dakota rips the body hard up against the cage. She gets you pinned up against the cage. She just unleashes combos to the body. It's crazy how many like body shot TKOs she has. It's pretty nasty. Have I ever met Jake Hadley? No, I have not. But I have heard that I look like Jake Hadley, which is probably not the best compliment I've ever got. And it might be a dig. It might be a dig because Jake Hadley, I wouldn't say is the most handsome man. But it could be worse. Could be worse. Also, we don't talk anywhere similar. I love the MMA Guru's impression of Jake Hadley. If you haven't seen the MMA Guru's impression of Jake Hadley, it's the best. It's the best, man. The dude does talk like an English Kermit the Frog. It's pretty wild. Dakota by KO has been the printer. Yeah, I wish you could just roll it over, man. Almost like a female O'Malley. Very different style, but I kind of see where you're coming from. Weird. That's why I said Dakota versus O'Malley run it. Would be even. First and last time I trust UFC odds instead of checking DK Sports. Never trust them. Never. Ever. I've also told him 3 times, don't bet the over on rounds. Yeah. She should be getting girls out of there real quick. Do I think Conor is a rapist? I don't know. I don't know, brother. It's not for me to decide. I haven't really looked too much into it. My opinion is very invalid, so I don't know. If Prates takedown defense can hold up, then I could see him getting that belt. I think so too, brother. I think so too. Would I fight the MMA guru? Sure. Sure. I don't know if he would fight me, but we also got to think about what type of fighter we fight. Are we fighting MMA? Are we fighting boxing, kickboxing? Down for it all. Down for it all. But that's a fight that'll probably never happen. Will you drop best bets early this week, please? I might have to, honestly. I might have to. But the problem is the best bets, I mean, it could get eliminated with like some type of weight miss. So I don't know. If you want me to put it out earlier, I could probably do that. I might have to do that, honestly, because I'll be traveling on Thursday, but we'll see. Pavlovich versus Jairzinho. Is that confirmed? Is that a real fight? I think Pavlovich would probably whoop him, to be honest. Because Pavlovich don't have a bad chin. Jairzinho's been sparked a few times. Jairzinho don't like a forward pressure guy. That's right. That's why you tune in. That's why you tune in Sunday nights to the Sunday Service, brother. Hey, dominates Guru in any mutual combat. Man, I'll be putting in that work. Man. Okay? I may not be in the gym every day, but I be in the gym at least once or twice a week. Okay? I bet my conditioning might be a little bit better. It's probably not great, but it's probably better. And I would probably say I'm a little bit decent more technically. I don't know. Is calling out Conor now not going to be a thing anymore? I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's been the stupidest call out forever. Like, you're going to call out Conor McGregor? Cool. Join the freaking party. Everybody is. So stupid when people do that. I want Prates versus Jeff Neal. Prates would whoop Jeff Neal, unfortunately. And I like Jeff Neal. But Prates would destroy him from range, and anytime he gets inside, knee the shit to his body. That would not be good. But practice any BJJ, boxing, etc. I train boxing and kickboxing. I guess you call it kickboxing, Muay Thai, whatever. Hey, Jai body shot KO against Guru. I would be looking to attack the body. That's for sure. Body shots, bunch of leg kicks. If we were kickboxing, little teeps to the body, right to the gut. Get him feeling it. Oh shit! What's next for Usman and Izzy? Usman's just going to sit on his little number 2 ranking and hope that he gets some type of opportunity. I don't know what the hell Usman's doing, man. Usman should have stepped in to fight Shavkat if he had the chance. If he didn't have the chance, then that tells you that they don't want Usman around anymore. But what's next for Usman? I think he's got to take on a Sean Brady or a Jack Della, bro. He's got to fight some type of up-and-coming contender. If he beats them, then sure, he's back in it. But odds are he ain't going to beat him. Izzy probably fights Imavov or Kyle Bahalio, and he loses to both of them. Just saying. He loses to both of them. I think both guys are cooked. Is it time to hop off the Pantoja train? I don't think it is, brother. I don't think it is. I'm not sold on this Kaya Sakura guy, okay? This dude's a Japanese. One thing. Has anybody peeped this dude Kaya Sakura's reach? Okay, it's not on Tapology. Do they have it on the UFC website? Because I swear I saw his reach was like 59 inches or something like that. Like something so short. This dude has T-Rex arms. I need to see this, bro. I need to see this. Please tell me they have his reach. They don't have his reach. Does Ryzen have his reach? Let me look it up. Okay, it's 69 inches. Wherever I saw that, they said it was like 58 inches. I was like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. Oh. If it was 58 inches, that would be nuts. It says Google AI says it's 69 inches. I don't know if they're just fucking with me or what, but I'm not sold on Kaya Sakura, man. I'm not. I think the only way Kaya Sakura wins is some type of jumping knee KO. But Pantoja's never been knocked out, never been submitted. He's never been finished. So we're going to knock on wood right there because this could be the time. This could be the time. Kai's got some good timing. He's got some good power. But the dude's been fighting nowhere near the level of competition. Like, let's just take a look at this, man. Let's take a look at this. Okay. His last 2 wins. Yuki Matoya. Yuki Matoya went 11-7 in Ryzen. 11-7. Yuki Matoya lost to Vince Morales. Vince Morales got cut by the UFC. He got brought back, but he got cut by the UFC. Vince Morales beat the dude that Kaya Sakura beat a year and a half ago for a main event in Ryzen. His last win was Juan Archuleta. Juan Archuleta, 9-3 in Bellator, 2-3 in Ryzen. Juan Archuleta is 37 years of age. It was a year ago. He lost to Hiromusa Oigukubo. Nobody knows who the hell that is. Okay? This dude went 9-4 in Ryzen. Lost to Juan Archuleta. It's the dude that beat Kaya Sakura by decision. I'm not sold on Kaya Sakura, man. I think the UFC is probably hoping that he finds some type of nice knockout and the Japanese fans get their first champion because Kaya Sakura's got a ton of fans. But I'm just not sold. I think Pantoja is better on the ground. I think he's the better minute winner with his striking. He's been cast iron durable throughout his career. I think this is another title defense for Pantoja, man. I was a unit. I'm a decent little unit now, man. I'm a decent little unit. Who would you match Prates with right now? Give me Prates versus give me Prates. I want to say Ian Garry, but probably not going to happen considering he's fighting this week. I guess you'd have to probably go Prates versus Jeff Neal. That would make the most sense. But I don't think anybody gives him anything until he gets in the top 5, to be honest. There's Connor, always reminding us. Calling McGregor out in 2024 is as logical as Dariush calling Elon Musk out. You ever spar with Gilbert Moicano and Matty Betts? No, but I think we might try to set something up. Get a little action going. If Jones is the underdog versus Aspinall, I'm betting the house on Jones. Well, he's the underdog, brother. Bro, if that's real, oh my God. Dariush is washed. Crazy how people were saying he would beat Islam soon after Charles lost. Yeah, bro. Tough for Dariush, man. Dariush he's a good guy. He's a good guy, but he needs the right matchup to win. And he's pretty chinny now. You think Kai is going to get taken down with ease? I think so. Dovlet had a nice KO, but I have no idea what Impa's game plan was. Impa's game plan was pressure and land big shots, which is kind of his game plan usually. But he just hasn't faced the greatest level of competition, to be honest. He gave Johnny Eblen a good run for his money, but Impa has also had a ton of fights over the last 2 years. I think it's like 9 fights in the last 2 years. So I had a feeling that was going to be a letdown for Impa, but I wasn't completely sold. So ultimately, I don't think I didn't bet on either guy. I actually bet on the over, which was probably the worst bet you could have. But I think, it was Impa's time to probably take a loss. The same dude that beat Kai in his last loss also beat Pantoja in the semis of Tough. Is that accurate? That is accurate. That was 8.5 years ago. Okay. Well, considering he was, what was he? How old is he now? 37. He was 29. He was in his prime. Long time ago. All of Kai's losses have been avenged. 3 beat him after already beating them. Okay. Seems like these guys on the Kai Asakura train. That's cool. Khabib fought a guy who was 28-22 at 23 when he was 15-0. John was champ at 23, and people still think he's not the GOAT. I don't know who's telling you he's not the GOAT. I feel like that's a take that not many people have. So I don't know what you're talking about, but that sounds like a fun sparring session. You, Matty, Moicano, and Gilbert. Can't wait for the video of that. We got to get it done. Man. I'll throw the shin guards on. Throw the big gloves on. Get at it. I know they're friends, but it is the perfect time for Islam to take out Bilal. Not going to happen, unfortunately. Evloya versus Sterling goes the full fight. Call me crazy, but I'm predicting it. I really hope you're being sarcastic. Yeah, I really hope you are. But if you're not, you might want to look elsewhere, brother. I think you are, though. I think Randy knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's talking about. How does a guy get an invite to the next sparring session, though? Well, it depends where you're located, brother. I'm sure in the future we want to bring out some people to come down to the headquarters, watch some fights, do some sparring sessions, have some fun. I'm sure that'll be in the cards for the future. Got some big things coming in 2025. We'll be looking to engage with the fans. Should be fun. Everyone in the live's making at least 500 bones this weekend. At least. Can we double that? Double that and pass it on? Southern Cal, you drive or travel for a good time with the boys. That's a long travel, bro. It's a long travel. I hate flying out to Vegas because it's a long flight from Florida, but must be done. Must be done if you're going to be in the fight capital of the world to watch a pay-per-view card. Pantoja Kai shot. Can anybody? I need to know in the chat. What y'all think about this Luque Themba Garimbo fight? Okay. Because I got back and forth. We just don't know what Luque is going to show up, man. But Themba's decent, but on the ground, man. On the ground, I think Luque could probably handle himself. Luque is pretty damn good grappler. And Themba got submitted by AJ Fletcher. That's a tough look, man. That's a real tough look. If Themba's shooting sloppy takedowns, Vicente Luque could definitely lock something up. But if he takes a couple bad shots that he don't like, he could easily just curl up and be done like he did his last fight. So who knows? Seems like plus 250 is a bit disrespectful on Aljo. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think maybe, but where does he beat him? Is he going to out-grapple Movsar? I don't know. I mean, I think maybe the way he could out-grapple him would be to take his back. But I don't think he's going to outstrike him. I think Evloev's probably got the better wrestling, pure jiu-jitsu ground game. We've seen Evloev put in some pretty bad spots and get out of them. I mean, he won the fight pretty much out-grappling Diego Lopez from top position. Diego's got some of the nastiest jiu-jitsu we've ever seen. So I don't know, man. I think Evloev's probably got him covered everywhere. So the plus 250 might look a bit disrespectful, but I don't know if it will play out that way. Themba all day and night. I thought DJ is retired. I believe he still beats even though. I don't know what I'm reading. Even though DJ is retired, I believe he still beats every flyweight in the UFC. They should have brought back DJ to face Pantoja for the title. They should have done that. Instead of bringing in Kai Asakura, they should have brought Demetrius Johnson back to the UFC for one last go. Bring him back. They did him dirty all this time. Buy him out of his one championship contract. I know he retired, but come on. They throw some money at DJ. They'd be like, we did you bad in the past. We're going to make it right. We're going to give you a bag for this fight with Pantoja. Just come back for one more. I would have loved to see that, man. I would have loved it. If Luque shows up, he wins. Agreed. Yeah, he did look terrible. That's probably why he's an underdog. I think Themba wins this fight. He has improved already since that Fletcher fight, in my opinion. I would agree. I think Luque gets it done by sub or decision. I don't think you're crazy, but I don't know if it cashes, brother. His fight with Nick Diaz has been rescheduled a million times. Miss prime Nick Diaz. The worst thing for Vicente was that Nick Diaz was caught out in the streets, man. In the streets, and he had to pull out. That was kind of a setup fight for Luque to get back on track. Give him an old Nick Diaz, gets his confidence back, and he's back to doing what he does. But now he's got to fight a prime Themba Garimbo. Okay? It's tough. I feel like Themba got much better. AJ's not the worst fighter out there. Dropped a battle with a nasty elbow. Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of been an AJ Fletcher supporter, but AJ got cut, and I think he only won one fight in the UFC. His only win was Themba Garimbo. That's tough. It's a tough look when the only time this guy won a fight in the UFC was Themba. It was Themba's debut. It was pretty raw. I don't know, man. I feel like Themba beats Luque. Luque does not look the same. He turned into a wrestler against RDA and quit against Buckley. I don't know if he is the same anymore, and Themba is hungry and upcoming. I would agree. He went 48-47 with an aging RDA. Yeah, that's pretty true. Was it 48-47? I thought it was 49-46. I just know he really needed to grapple. He needed those takedowns. Yeah, I guess it was. I mean, one of them had 49-46, but the brain bleed, man. Brain bleed's tough. Yeah, UFC knows. Still got Pantoja winning. Getting takedowns in a cage seems easier than getting takedowns on the ropes. Yeah, that's another thing we got to factor in, okay? Kai Asakura has been fighting in these rings. Okay, it ain't even a cage. Been fighting in the Ryzen ring. You got ropes. You got takedowns. I mean, I guess maybe that would help with takedown defense, having a cage. Something to support you with the takedown. Maybe not. Maybe it hurts. I don't know. I'm not a fighter. But yeah, it's a different feeling, man. Different feeling. One thing I did notice when I was watching tape on Kai Asakura, in the ring, since it's square, they have like, you're going to get cornered. You can corner people in the corner. So that's kind of where he did a lot of his work is cornering guys, cutting angles, and then cornering up against the ropes or against the pole, I guess you would call it, and doing work there. He ain't gonna have that. Same, but DJ never came back to the UFC. Would never came back to the UFC. Him and Dana got beef. He hates Dana in the UFC. Said it was the greatest choice to split from the UFC. It's fair. It's fair. I don't know. Shout out to Pogs, man. Pogs was a winner last week on the giveaway. Also, he was lighting a candle or some in memory of his girlfriend, I think. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. AJ Fletcher equals Adriano Martins. Both men beat fighters far above their caliber and then went on to lose and sail off into the sunset. Shout out to Adriano Martins. That was actually Alexandre Pantoja. That's one of the greatest things in the sport of UFC. Brendan Schaub thinking that Pantoja beat Islam Makhachev. Brendan Schaub actually thought Pantoja was the flyweight champ and beat Islam Makhachev, who fights at 155 back in the day. What? It's just crazy, bro. It's crazy. Zinachino going in the top shelf. We're almost at an hour. We got to cut this off at 9 because I got to join that poker tournament. $1,000 going on Moon Poker. Got to get my coin tonight, boys. When did you start watching the UFC and started betting? Long story. I didn't really go full. I was a casual for a while, and then I didn't really go full on until 2020. So I'm also 25 years of age. Okay. When I was growing up, MMA, UFC was not really a thing where I lived. Not a thing. The closest MMA gym was probably an hour plus away. So, and if it was an MMA gym, it really wasn't much. So MMA really wasn't much. So growing up, I wasn't even born when the first UFC was going on. So growing up, I had heard about Conor McGregor and all that stuff. I was a casual. And then in 2020, that's when I really got into watching every single fight. Then I started betting on it, probably two events after I watched. Then I started betting on it. Been betting on it ever since. Ever since. When is PFL going out of business? It's a good question, Peter. I don't know, man. I don't know. I would like for them not to, because I like having something else than the UFC, but I don't know that they can sustain what they're doing. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, I enjoy having other fights with a different organization, different fighters, different storylines. I enjoy that. And I think there is a market for it, but there's some things they got to clean up. What's up, brother? Imagine if Kai loses this next fight by a crazy KO or just loses dominantly, he gets cut. You talking Asakura? I don't know what you're talking about. Shaw literally thought Pantoja beat Islam Makhachev. He thought Alexandre Pantoja was Adriano Martins. And they do kind of look alike. And they're both Brazilian. They both have a name that starts with an A. But come on, man. Come on. It's one of the greatest moments in Brendan Schaub history. Okay. And he said it so confidently. He's like, you know who Pantoja beat, right? Islam Makhachev. That's how bad that motherfucker is. Full confidence. I was like, oh my God, this dude, oh, good Lord. Drew Hunter in the IG chat. Congratulations on the new baby fam. Love the content. I appreciate that, brother. Hopefully we can bring some more good content to your life. Fun fact, there's no women's MMA on 310. A lot of testosterone in the building on Saturday night. Okay, no women's fights. We should have some violence. We got the OG gloves. There should be some violence going down Saturday night at the T-Mobile in Las Vegas. It's going to be a great time. Who made you the most money betting on? Without a doubt, the most money one fighter has made me, or the most money I've made on one fighter, Dricus du Plessis. No doubt about it. That's why he's up there. That's why he's one of my favorite fighters. He is hands down maybe the most money out of every fighter because I bet on him every single fight. He's never lost in the UFC. I guess I didn't bet on him in his debut, but every single fight after his debut, I bet on him. I cashed out the most I've ever cashed out on DDP versus Adesanya. I had him on the money line for 4,000. I had him by sub for like, I don't know how much I had on him. I cashed out like 13, 14,000 on DDP that night. And then bet on him every single fight before that. I had like 3,000 or 4,000 on him against Sean Strickland. He cashed me big as an underdog against Robert Whittaker. So DDP, man. DDP, that's why he's one of my favorite fighters. The dude he's just an animal, bro. He's just an animal. And I like that everyone doubts him every single fight because they just look at him and he looks like a retard out there. He just looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. But that just brings you opportunities, okay? You got to see the vision with DDP. He's going to go out there. He's going to be tough as shit. His cardio might look like shit, but he's got some decent cardio. He's going to be getting hit with some wild stuff. He's going to make a lot of mistakes, but he's just going to keep marching forward. That South African mentality, tough as nails, always gets it done. Always gets it done. That's why I love DDP. And he's made me a lot of money. But another one is Jake Paul has also made me a lot of money. Okay. Jake Paul has also made me a lot of money. Who else? I don't know. O'Malley has made me a decent amount of money. Yeah, I don't know. DDP definitely comes to mind though, as the most. I remember my first UFC pay-per-view was 283. What was 283? Let me just think about this. 282 was Ankalaev Blachowicz. 283 was Jamal Hill versus Glover Teixeira in Brazil. You also had Davison Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno. That was a good card. That was actually one where now that you say that, Randy, UFC 283 was the first ever Hazy pay-per-view video. The first ever. And we've been doing it every single card since. So from UFC 283, Hasbulla made his mark as the predictor in the MMA space. And ever since then, he's been going strong. I think in 2023, Hazy had a crazy record. Crazy record. I think he went like 13-2. I think the only two pay-per-view main events that he got wrong was Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, and Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya. Those were the only two. Other than that, straight up winners, he had every single one of them. And Strickland was like a plus 600 dog. So nobody, I mean, not nobody, but not many people saw that one coming. That's how bad that motherfucker is. Gotta love British Shaw, man. No way the UFC doesn't cut Asakura if he loses, even if he loses badly. Gets the build back up treatment and a sick promo for his second title shot in the UFC. Oh, yeah. No chance. DDP, come on. Fights like a giant puppy dog, like a huge puppy dog. You don't have any idea what he's going to do, and neither does he. Yeah, he don't know what the fuck he's doing out there, bro. But he actually does. He actually has some decent game plans. It just doesn't really look like he knows what he's doing. He has a system that he goes to. My friends looked at me like I'm a casual when I also picked him against Robert. Hey, man. Sometimes when people look at you like you're stupid, those are the best plays. Okay, those are the best plays. Kind of like when people were looking at Bilal Muhammad bettors against Leon Edwards, like they're dumb. Like Leon just fought Colby and Usman, just beat them back to back, like two of the better wrestlers in welterweight division. And Bilal's this guy that just goes to decision with everybody. He's not dangerous. But Bilal has the pace, the pressure, the wrestling, gets it done. But when he does it, he's huge and strong and hurts. That's facts. Who do you think wins, DDP or Hamza? I think DDP might get the job done, not going to lie. I do think DDP could definitely beat him. I really do. I think DDP could weather the storm. He's been in a lot of dogfights. Hamzat's going to bring the fight early, and DDP could probably keep up. I think he could probably withstand the early blitz and take over later, bro. Tom Aspinall and Bo Nickel with first-round finishes has won me big in the past. Yeah, I mean, Aspinall gets it done every fight, first round, pretty much. Bo Nickel, not so much the last two fights. Then to watching Volk versus Islam right after for the next pay-per-view. Had me start off great with the UFC. Yeah, that was a great fight, too. That was a great fight. I knew Bilal was winning that match. That card was my biggest win ever because of Tom, too. Good shit, brother. Good shit. I cashed. It's actually in a vlog on my YouTube channel. I cashed big on Bilal Muhammad takedowns, laddering his takedowns. I think I had like the over 2.5 was like even money. I put like the max bet that I could get out there on that. And then I laddered it with like over 3.5, over 4.5. And he got like 9 takedowns or something. Like pretty much all within the first 2 or 3 rounds. So Bilal made me a lot of money that fight too. It wasn't really on the money line. I also did have a bet on him on the money line, but his takedowns were like free as shit. Like I got his over 3.5 or over 4.5 takedowns at like plus 300 or plus 400, something crazy. Yeah, that was a big cash for me too. What up, Hey? I've just got here. Did I already miss the topics in your title? Yeah, Paul, kind of. But if you have any input, drop it down in the chat. I'll read it and I'll give you my thoughts, brother. DDP outmuscles Hamzat and makes Hamzat gas DDP inside the distance, in my opinion. I agree, brother. I agree. Brian Cito, what's the lock? The lockness monster on this card, Chase Hooper. Minus 1,000. I'm kidding. Don't ever bet a minus 1,000. It's just not worth it, man. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. You might get Kong wanged, bro. You might get wanged. You don't want to get wanged out here, okay? You don't want to be this guy sitting there with a minus 1,000 ticket and you get Kong wanged. You don't want to be that guy. You don't. You asked me for the lock. There ain't no locks in MMA, brother. If you don't believe me, go watch that UFC China card, okay? Everyone thought Kong Wang was a lock, a minus 1,000. What did she do? She got fucking dropped. She got her back taken. She got choked out. Ain't no such thing as a lock, except for Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. That shit was a lock. That shit was a lock. Rarely would I ever say something's a lock. But if I say something's a lock, then that means something very, very serious is about to happen. Okay, I'm not a guy that throws around the word lock because we've seen just some crazy stuff in MMA. But if I say something's a lock, that means I don't see any way else that this fight goes. I don't see any way. And a lot of times when I see a minus 1,000 favorite, I look at it and I see, there's definitely a way that this fight could go bad for this person. So that's why minus 1,000 to me is just doesn't mean a lock. It just doesn't mean it in any sense. Max Griffin mauls Chiesa. I don't know if he wants to maul him, because I would assume mauling means going for takedowns, smothering, but could definitely knock him out. Watched a lot of tape on that fight today, and I went back and forth with it, man. I think Chiesa, it's actually going to be Chiesa's birthday on fight day, December 7th. Right? That's when the fight is, December 7th. Yeah, it's going to be Chiesa's birthday. I feel like it could be Chiesa's retirement fight. It could be. We'll see. So that kind of raises some red flags for me. But did I bet on Strickland versus Adesanya? Yeah, I believe I did. I think I bet on the under 4.5 rounds, which turned out to be kind of a bad beat because I thought Strickland probably could have had the TKO in round 1. So I lost that bet. But I also think I had some DFS plays on that one. Like a Strickland over. Or, no, I had an Adesanya lower than. Yeah. And it did hit. Mozart and Shavkat lock parlay. Big thumbs down there, brother. I don't think Shavkat at minus 350 is going to be in my parlays. But I do like Mozart. UFC lover UFC on the IG chat. In my opinion, UFC 310, the best card for make some money. All favorites will win. Wow. Coming in hot with the all favorites are going to win. Just parlay all the favorites, guys. This guy's onto something. Just parlay all the favorites. In your opinion, fight of the year and fighter of the year. In my opinion, fighter of the year is Ilia Topuria, bro. Fighter of the year is Ilia Topuria. Beat Volkanovski. Best featherweight ever, in my opinion. Knocked him out. Knocked out Max Holloway. One of, or top 3 at least, featherweights ever. Knocking out both of those guys, your fight of the year. Doesn't matter what Pereira has done. Pereira's wins are great, and his activity is great. But they're Yuri and Jamal Hill and Roundtree are not the same level as a Volkanovski or a Topuria. So Ilia's the fighter of the year, in my opinion. Fight of the year. I don't know. There's been so many solid fights, man. I got to think about that one. Because you tend to go off of recency bias. Like one that comes to mind would probably be Hebovix versus Zellhuber. That was a sick fight. That was such a sick fight. Hebovix versus Zellhuber was one of the most recent ones that I can think of. Rebecki versus Oralby was also a sick fight. It's very tough to think back to like January or February. Like what fights am I missing earlier on in the year? But those are the ones that come to mind that are most recent. I honestly think Garry is good value and he's faster than Shavkat in my opinion. I think he's faster too. But like I said earlier, if the fight hits the ground, it's going to be puckering. The cheeks are going to be puckering, man, because Shavkat's squeeze is nasty. I don't know. Am I crazy for taking Ian Garry at plus 300? And yeah, I think Dakota is badass. Agree with you on Dakota. Plus 300 on Ian Garry. I don't think you're crazy, bro. I don't think you're crazy. Hey, casual's going to casual, bro. Casual's going to casual. Sorry, Randy. I don't know about lock this week, but Josephine Knudsen is the lock next week. Who does she fight next week? I can't wait for Tampa too. I have a big play on UFC Tampa. I sent it out to the premium members. Got a huge play on UFC Tampa. Knutson. Piera Rodriguez. Ooh. Piera Rodriguez ain't bad, though. I mean, she's not bad, bro. Shavkat 2-0 against Garry in training is not going to be able to handle the Shavkat pressure for 5 rounds. Most likely. Got to head out. I think I'm about to head out too, brother. We've been here for an hour. We got the Moon Poker $1,000 tourney going down in less than 15 minutes. I got to make sure I'm on that. Okay? I won $500 last Monday off of the free to play Moon Poker app. I'm about it, bro. I'm back on my poker grind, and it's fast paced. It's free. Only takes about 30 minutes to complete the whole tournament. My palms were sweating Monday night when I was playing on Moon Poker. I won $500, free entry, top 3. Sick. $1,000 tournament going down in less than 15 minutes. Let's run that shit. Let's win that. Let's win that big prize. Last one. Randy Fury versus Usyk. It's a good question. And I'm actually very excited for that fight. I saw the promo today. Whew. I was on Usyk in the first fight, but I might have to go with Fury in the second fight. Because Fury is like a plus 150 underdog now. I think that's pretty nuts. Because it was a very close fight, and Fury was winning majority of the fight until he got clipped with that big shot. And from what I've heard, Fury wasn't able to spar much in the lead up to that fight because he had to pull out of the first fight with a cut over his eye. And apparently, Turki Al-Sheikh told him, if you pull out of this next fight, we're going to cut your purse by like $10 million. So he wanted to make sure he was able to fight on that date. And I guess he didn't get a lot of sparring in because he wasn't trying to get beat. He wasn't trying to get cut up again and have to pull out. So I would assume Tyson Fury went into that fight a little bit underprepared. He still looked good. He got clipped with a big shot. And Usyk ultimately won a split decision, I think it was, which is kind of crazy. I thought Usyk pretty clearly won it. But Usyk is still a smaller man. And if Fury comes in here motivated off a good training camp, if we get the best Tyson Fury should beat Alexander Usyk. And Usyk is aging himself. Like they're both not young. Like they're both, I don't want to say past their prime, but maybe past their physical prime. What are their exact ages? Let me just look at this. Okay, so Usyk is almost 38. Tyson's 36. So, I think if we get the best Tyson Fury, I think Tyson Fury is the play as the underdog. Bigger guy, has great footwork, more power, longer, was looking good in the fight until he got clipped. The only thing with Tyson is over the course of his career, we've seen him get dropped a good amount of times. But a lot of times he's still, every time except for his last fight, he was still able to come back, make it to the final bell, and either win or go to a draw. So I think if we get the best Tyson Fury as the underdog is the play. And I'll probably be betting on him as the underdog. I'm excited for that one, considering we don't have a UFC card over that time span, and that'll be a massive boxing fight to watch. So I'm excited for it. We're going to end it there, boys. Appreciate you for watching Sunday Service, episode number 33 in the books. We got UFC 310 on Saturday. I'll be there in attendance, flying out Thursday. If you're in Vegas, hit me up. I'll be going to Power Slap on Friday as well. Should be a good time. I'll probably be vlogging the entire time, and we'll get out the vlog to you Sunday night or Monday once we get it put together. Put that up on the YouTube channel. Should be fun. Didn't have a vlog for the past 3-4 months, but the vlogs are usually very fun, a good watch, and very fun to put together. So looking forward to that. UFC Tampa the following weekend. I'll be there too. Lots to look forward to before the end of the year. 2024 is coming to an end, but we got some good cards to go to and make some money on. Appreciate you for watching. We'll be back here next Sunday, hopefully next Sunday, depending on travel, but I don't know. Maybe not. We'll see. We'll stay up to date with everything. Appreciate you for joining Sunday Service. Till next time, hey, Job Picks.